If you are an audiophile, please go away. This video is not for you. You have been warned. Anyway, here is a pair of speakers that I found at the side of the road. No brand name, all it says is Dolby Surround Pro Logic. No label on the back. Nothing. Cables have been ripped off by somebody. So I picked these up and I was just going to rip out the speakers and blow those up just for fun. So I started to disassemble this speaker, which is actually kind of starting to disassemble itself. And I find there are screws down in these holes. So let me take out these 4 screws so that we can see if this speaker can actually be disassembled. That would be a first for me. The screws have been removed and yes, this speaker can be disassembled, and of course I mean disassembled without using excessive force. With a hammer, you can disassemble any speaker. So this is now loose, this front, revealing particle board and the smell of cigarettes. Interestingly, it's not coming out. There is this fabric down at the end of these ports to make them look pretty. And somehow it seems like this fabric is also glued into the housing. So well, I guess I'll have to try and cut off the fabric. One piece of fabric has been ripped out completely. The other piece of fabric I was able to cut, so it's still in place. And now this is only held in place by 2 wires for this piezo tweeter, which is of course a rather useless tweeter. It actually looks like it had started to rust. Anyway, I'm just going to cut that off. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the good Chinese quality. They didn't even glue those panels together properly. I removed the 4 screws and took out the woofer, and it turns out this is a real amplifier killer. 2 ohms. That's going to make a lot of amplifiers really happy. 15 watts, and the magnet is shielded, so obviously these speakers were designed to go right next to a TV. So it's not all bad. The input cable had a knot tied into it, so no harm was done when they ripped off the cable on the outside. Just runs straight into the woofer. There is no crossover. Also notice this. There is a crack in the front between the woofer and the tweeter. I'm trying to take out the tweeter, which isn't easy because the little series capacitor, which is the only frequency crossover component in this speaker, has been glued in place somewhere down here. And yeah, this just happened. Believe it or not, this was the easiest solution. So here is the crossover capacitor, 4.7 microfarads, 50 volts. There is the back of the tweeter. It's not magnetically shielded, but it isn't a very strong magnet, so that won't disturb any CRT type televisions. 8 ohms, 8 watts. Nothing inside, no acoustic foam, nothing. And that's it. I do still have the second speaker, which I'm also going to disassemble. I think we've found enough evidence that these speakers would have sounded terrible. I can't test them, of course, because the speaker wires have been ripped off, and because the little amplifier here on the workbench certainly won't drive a 2 ohm load. So that's it. Thank you for watching.